Awami League rejects the court verdict and threatens protests. The interim government under Muhammad Yunus has now issued a statement. The death sentences handed down to the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and former Home Minister Asaduzzama Khan Kamal for crimes against humanity mark a historic verdict. Recognizing the gravity of this judgment, the interim government urges the people from all sections of the society to remain calm, restrained and responsible. This is the Yunus government statement that has been issued right after the ICT verdict that has given a death sentence to Sheikh Hasina and the former Home Minister of Bangladesh, Asaduzzama Khan Kamal. And now the Yunus government is asking people to exercise caution and remain calm, restrained and responsible. The first reaction that's coming in from the interim government under Muhammad Yunus. My colleague Kamalika with all of those details. Kamalika?
Yes, absolutely. This is the first reaction that has been come from Muhammad Yunus because this is the advisor of Bangladesh government who has put out this statement everywhere, where they have mentioned that this is an historic verdict which has come out. People should remain calm and quiet, and also the people who did the July movement, who were there on roads, they have been also asked to remain calm. But the point is, there are bulldozers in front of Dhanmandi. Dhanmandi is the place from where Mujibur Rahman did give a clarion call for the war against Pakistan. So and we know that Dhanmandi is already, it is vandalized earlier. So if this is the situation, that how far law and order situation Bangladesh government will be able to keep in their hands, that is a big question. Because on one hand, there is Awami League protesters. They have totally declared a shutdown, and they have said that the shutdown will continue till Muhammad Yunus steps down. And if we look back last 24 hours, there has been several places, buses have been set on fire. We have seen that in various places, outside advisors' home, bombs have been hurled, various cocktail bombs have been hurled in various places. That is one side. And Awami League have nothing to lose now but to tell the Bangladesh government, but to exert the pressure that no, they are not going to accept this is something which is the kangaroo court has done, and that is how they will definitely want to put their show of strength, that means the muscle strength on ground. No, undoubtedly they have nothing to lose now because they are anyway banned. So they will try that, and that's quite clear when we spoke to the General Secretary of Awami League, Obaidul Qadir and Mohibul
Right,
Hasan
absolutely.
Chaudhry.
Kamalika, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. We have a guest who's joining us on the broadcast. Veena Sikri, former High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, is with us. Ms. Sikri, thank you so much for joining us. What do you make of this verdict by the ICT that's come against Sheikh Hasina and her former Home Minister?
Well, first of all, we must understand that this is I can only describe it as a kangaroo court because it's not mandated for this purpose. The International Crime Tribunal was set up way back in 2010 when Sheikh Hasina was Prime Minister to try the war crimes, those who had committed war crimes in 1971. The parliamentary law on this was passed in 1973 and updated in 2009. There is nowhere any saying that this is going to be used for trying something which happened in 2024, number one. Number two, the way in which this International Crimes Tribunal has been so-called constituted, because the previous incumbents were all forced to resign. They were surrounded, their mobocracy was in position, they were surrounded, they were forced to resign, and new people were appointed. And appointed by whom? By an interim government that is unelected and has no constitutional mandate and is an illegal government just trying to run the show as though they are illegitimately elected. So first of all, there is no mandate at all for this International Crimes Tribunal to try and to pass verdict on Sheikh Hasina, number one. Number two, even if you look at the way in which it was done, they are claiming that 1,400 people have died and that, that 11,000 had been put in jail. Where are the names? Where are the people? Where is the post-mortem of the people who have died? No evidence has been presented in court. This trial has been rushed through in record time. There is not a single case in Bangladesh that has been completed in this much, in such record time over the last 54 years. So actually, this has just been rushed through with no evidence. No evidence was asked for even. Sheikh Hasina was not allowed, even her own lawyer was not allowed to be there. Some state appointed lawyer was given to her. And I would like to know how you can say, for example, much of the people who had died after 5th of August when Sheikh Hasina had already left the country. So how can they blame her for that? And then even if you blame her that certain number of people died under police action, today itself, this very unconstitutional government of Muhammad Yunus also passed a similar law that shoot at sight. They pass shoot at sight orders. Anybody who comes and creates a disturbance, shoot them at sight. Now, this is whenever there's a law and order situation in a country, the police is always asked to look after it, isn't it? And if the law and order situation deteriorates, shoot at sight orders can be given by the government of the day. So none of this.
In fact, ma'am, Ms. Sikri, there is a statement that has come in from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Bangladesh where they have yet again demanded that India should hand over Sheikh Hasina and the Home Minister to Bangladesh. So this is the latest development that we are learning of after this this statement that's come in from Muhammad Yunus. Now, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also putting out this request to India and asking India to hand over Sheikh Hasina and the former Home Minister of Bangladesh. Let's take this across to my colleague Siddhant Mishra, who's got us that information. Siddhant?
Fresh statement has come from Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Bangladesh. In fact, there are two key takeaways from this statement. One, they have categorically mentioned the name of Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzahman Khan Kamal, the former Interior Minister of Bangladesh. In fact, this statement also says that if any country gives shelter to these individuals convicted of crimes against humanity, it will be an extremely intolerant act and a disregard for justice. In fact, a statement also says that we appeal to the government of India to immediately hand over these two convicted individuals to the Bangladesh authorities. So this is not the first time that Bangladesh has asked for the extradition of Sheikh Hasina from India. In fact, in the month of January, a diplomatic route was taken then by the Bangladeshi government to seek Sheikh Hasina's extradition. In fact, the same was confirmed to us by Ministry of External Affairs. We are still awaiting response from Ministry of External Affairs on this statement by the Foreign Ministry of Bangladesh.
Right. Ms. Sikri, what do you make of this statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Bangladesh asking India to give back Sheikh Hasina and also the former Home Minister? And that is what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs there in Bangladesh is referring to. But as far as this extradition treaty that India has with Bangladesh, what are the pros and cons? What are the caveats that are in place that will give that safe haven that possibly is going to continue for Sheikh Hasina, and the formal, in fact, application of this verdict by the ICT might not happen?
Let us be very clear about extradition treaties and the process of extradition. Nobody extradites anybody on the basis of a one-liner from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In January, they sent a one-liner saying, please send her back. Now they've said, oh, here, this is the court verdict, please send her back. Now, it is India where Sheikh Hasina is residing, and India has to see all the evidence. There will be a court case in India itself to examine the evidence on the basis of which this ordered death sentence has been passed against Sheikh Hasina. It's not that you get a one-liner note from the Foreign Office and you hand over Sheikh Hasina.
And that's a very important point that you're making. I really want you to elaborate on this dual criminality that needs to be established, not just in Bangladesh, because they've already convicted Sheikh Hasina. It needs to be done here in the country also for India to even start that process of extradition or possibly agree to the extradition of Sheikh Hasina.
First of all, yes, that same crime, you have to look at question of dual criminality is there. Now, you can say a death sentence for a certain whatever you think that some people have been killed. You have to look into that evidence. That evidence has to be presented in the Indian court. And in the Indian court, even Sheikh Hasina's lawyer will be given every chance to defend it. You can't just pass a sentence against somebody and say, now extradite them. The process of extradition is extremely long. As we have seen with people like Vijay Mallya or Nirav Modi or others, those are civil cases, those are not criminal cases. Even some of them are criminal and some of them are civil. So even for that, look at the way in which the UK courts have been examining the evidence and examining all the cases and what will happen to them, will they be put in the proper jail, all kinds of things are there. So it is a very, very long and elaborate process before any extradition can take place. So if the government of Bangladesh thinks that just by the foreign ministry issuing a one-liner that the people will be sent back, they absolutely don't know international law at all. They don't know what is the purpose of an extradition treaty. It is precisely to prevent against any kind of kangaroo court justice that the extradition treaties are concluded. So I think that there is a very, very long way ahead, and I think the first thing to do is to see on what basis this court verdict has been passed. I think that is what needs to be looked at by all of you, by everyone. What is the evidence? Who are the people who died? Where is the post-mortem? How did they die? Where did they die? I remember very well that the Bangladesh papers last time spoke about 350 people dying, number one. Number two, there was also the talk of a large number of policemen having been killed by the Yunus regime and his people, by the so-called students themselves. And the death of the policemen and the destruction of the police stations, 400 of them, was so extensive that even till today the police force is not functioning at full force. And this was such a criminal act, but the Yunus regime and his cohorts, they have indemnified themselves against it. So
Right,
they are
absolutely.
trying to be totally one-sided. They are trying to blame Sheikh Hasina and then not saying about all the violence which has taken place 5th of August
Absolutely, and
beyond.
that's exactly the reason why her version has not been recorded. Remember this trial, the verdict has come in absentia and they've decided to keep it that way, and Sheikh Hasina has been claiming that it's a one-sided one, it's a kangaroo court that has assembled to give her that death sentence. We'll keep